Welcome back on the moon. It's doing? Me, No Beanie Nate today.
And Chuey.
Chuey.
It's usually a little crazy because it's just a little 4-syllable drop. Like, Chuey. Like a little drop. Like you asked for a splash or something in your coffee. You're going to hear it now.
So on today's episode, we're going to talk about... we're going to talk about what's going on in crypto with the dips and the and the pumps and the dumps and the.
I always love when you say that.
And I'm gonna talk about if the bear market is here, if the bull market is over. At least my opinion on it. Obviously, nobody knows for sure. Either way, I mean, tomorrow it could go to 100 grand. Who knows? But anyway, we'll get to that. We're also going to talk about the NFT giveaway that we're doing. When we hit 100 subscribers, we're going to give away some custom NFTs. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and stick around and figure out how to, how to get some.
Yeah, and I'm drinking coffee because that shit sounds like a lot.
I mean, there's always a lot. There's always a lot going on. So jumping in on the crypto.
What do you got for us?
Well, I've been telling people close to me, around me, that I thought that the Coinbase IPO would be top of the market. Like, I thought that was market top, and that would just be the end of the bull run, essentially. And the way the chart played out post that, well, I guess you guys can see that.
Are you saying you predicted that?
I mean, I wouldn't say I predicted it. It just seemed like we've reached the point where it was so many new people coming in. The hype was like at all-time highs, not just the price, but the hype surrounding the space was at all-time highs. You had celebrities coming out of every which way, shilling this coin, shilling that coin, spreading FUD about this, just whatever they could do. And we all know if you've been paying attention, you already know which celebs we're talking about. So,
I mean, what's that sweater you got there?
Right. So, it is what it is. Like, players are going to play the game, and some people are just going to lose out.
Nature of the beast.
Luckily, I guess for me, I took my profits before the Coinbase IPO. I took out my initial investments, took profits. That's kind of how I was able to get my half going for us to get in here. So,
nice.
You know what I mean? Like, that's how that kind of worked out for me. So for me, everything worked out timing wise. And I understand a lot of people were coming in at that time. You know what I mean? I know there's a lot of people that bought, fresh people that bought at the top. And the only thing I could say for them is I hope you didn't sell. Like, I hope you're holding it because, okay, look, yeah, you might take a loss this year, next year, 2 years later, but what we've seen is that it always comes back, right? It always eclipses its previous all-time highs.
The cream rises to the top.
Well, you know what I mean? Unless you were invested in some really small cap, no hype, you were just riding the speculation wave and just trying to just capitalize on the new people coming in behind you, almost like pyramid-esque. Right, you saw a certain price, you bought in at that price, thinking people were gonna come in and buy it up, right? Like what we're seeing with the Dogecoin folks, with the Safe Moon folks who happen to kind of be the same people, the Shiba Inu folks, right?
I mean, we got
all the
Dogecoin millionaires out there.
Oh yeah, a lot of people made a gang of money on that shit. I mean, you gotta imagine Dogecoin's all-time high was 1 cent, coming into this year. And right now, I think it's sitting at about 30 cents, give or take. So, and then I think its all-time high was somewhere in the 70s or 60s. So, it went up, obviously, and they made a lot of people money. I mean, if they cashed out, they made money. You know what I'm saying? Right. But right now, what we're seeing, too, is a lot of people haven't necessarily pulled their money out of the crypto space. They've really been putting it into stable coins.
Danger hodlers. Type deal. I'm just saying. I don't know. I kind of just made that up.
Oh yeah, I don't know. People are hodling, but what we're seeing is a lot of people aren't like for instance, BitBoy the other day sold $2 million worth of altcoins, right? And he didn't sell them and take the money and put it in his bank account, cash out, and go buy a new Lambo. He put that money in a stable coins and has it sitting there waiting for the opportunity to get in at the right time. I mean, and that's what bigger players do, right? Like if that's the route you want to take, that's an okay route. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, but just remember that it's very hard to predict tops and bottoms and to get in at the right prices, right? At the right time, right? Because you might get in next week when it hits like a certain price point and you're thinking, all right, this is good, but then it drops another 20-30% and then okay, so now you gotta wait. But if you used up all your money, you can't dollar cost average that down. So if you are gonna do it, don't just go all back in at one point. Like kind of just do the dollar cost average. It's
a build-up play, I think. Well, because it should be used as a build-up play. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, okay, you want to make money on these bigger coins, but they're already at a higher price. You're starting off at a higher price. So like you said, dollar cost average. If you start getting in right now, it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter as much. But if you can make enough house money on the smaller shit, you know what I mean? Allowing it to blow up and taking some dumb chances, even on some stupid fucking shit like Dogecoin. But if you're doing that play, so what Nate's trying to say is if you're doing that play, all money to you, get that. But if you don't know what you're doing and you think you're holding Dogecoin for the long term, whoopsie.
Right. I mean, if you're hoping that Elon is going to bring together some like ghost devs that are going to... that are gonna take
Dogecoin revolution.
That are gonna take it to the next level. Then you know what? Like that's you gotta figure out your strategy with what you really want here. I mean, like, are you here for the long term or are you here for the short term? Right? Like that's the real struggle for the new people coming in is they don't know. They see the money, right? And when you first get in, especially in a bull market, everything moves fast and you start making money really fast. It's very easy. Right. But then times like this come and it gets a little stressful, I can imagine. Because some people, like, man, they'll put that first 1,000 in, right? And then it'll go to 2,000 in like less than a week. And you're like, oh, shit. Like, what? I doubled up. So then you take out all your savings and then you go all in. Now, obviously, this is the worst thing you could ever do, right? And then they go all in, but they go all in at the top. And then it fucking goes down and you know.
I mean, I just think it's a classic gambling move.
It is.
And I don't even mean that it just exists in gambling. I just mean in gambling in life in general. Gambling on anything. Right. Gambling on it. Gambling with your life. Gambling with anything. But like the two biggest ones that are the most obvious ones are the obvious, like actual gambling, right? And the fucking stock markets.
Right.
Like one thing that we know historically from those two alone is that that's never going to change.
Oh,
like that problem's going to exist in cryptocurrency the whole ride through.
Well, I mean, it's the whole ride through.
It's just part of it, but I think everybody's not sure how to separate everything yet. Like what's what? Like you don't know how to tell what's what yet. I mean, if you're from the outside.
For the new folks,
I think it's
a challenge, right? Because a lot of the new folks, they don't understand the technology behind a lot of these projects. So a lot of times they're basing their buys on a few different things, right? They're basing it on the cost of the asset, right? So obviously, if you don't have a lot of money, you're going to look at things that are like very cheap, right? I mean, buying Bitcoin, you could buy any amount of Bitcoin, right? $1, $2, whatever. You could buy any amount of Bitcoin. But you're obviously thinking about the percentage gain. You're not thinking about the necessarily dollar.
I mean, if I could buy a Ferrari, I would, right? Today.
Right, but that's kind of a weak analogy for what I'm trying to say. Like, more so is like when you're buying these assets, when you're investing in these assets, like a lot of times, like people will look, oh, well, this is a penny. Right? Like, it's nothing to go to 2 pennies. Right? It's nothing to go to 10 pennies. Right? But when you're buying something like Bitcoin that's 50 grand Or right now it's what 30, 40 grand, something like that. I don't know. I don't really own Bitcoin, so I don't know. But like when you're buying like something that's 50 grand, right? You need that shit to go to 100 grand to get that same growth that from 1 penny to 2 penny. Right. So
that's what I'm saying. A Ferrari will never get there that quick, but right away you got an asset right now that's already worth at least what you bought it for. And I was talking about a Ferrari specifically because not any other car. Every other car depreciates immediately, but a Ferrari, you're fucking good. Find me an F50 right now that's 60 grand.
Right.
It's not happening. Like you're good. Right. You're getting back exactly what you paid for that shit.
It's a little different, but yeah, I get what you're trying to say.
Yeah, so that was my Ferrari analogy. It's just like, hey, to the layperson, this is what it would be. It'd be like, if I could do that, that's great, but I'd rather buy something that's cheaper that in the end is just going to keep growing, like immediately, and getting big chunks. You know what I mean? Right. Because either way, I can't afford the Ferrari anyway, even if I wanted to.
That's
right?
True. Exactly. That's true. We're not bit boy.
Exactly.
We ain't got $2 million worth of crypto, but it is what it is.
We're bit babies.
So, yeah, like if you sold, then, I mean, and you're trying to time your opportunity to get back in, then, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, none of this is financial advice. We're just two dumb idiots. But, like, just try to not go all in, right? Like, ease your way back in. Like, the advice I tried to... Well, the advice I try to give anybody at any time, whether you're new to the market or you've been in the market for a long time, is to dollar cost average your way through.
Always.
Right? I mean, that's the safest bet to not getting completely wrecked.
Right.
Right? And then, so just think about dollar cost averaging if you sold and you're trying to get back in, right? That's kind of my advice for that, even though it's not real advice. It's just what I would do, like if I sold. But I didn't sell. I mean, like I sold, but I sold in a way where I actually took the profit out, the cash, and I used the cash. I needed the cash, so
it's just the dose of friendly advice,
right? I mean, like if you're playing with the stable coins, then you obviously know what you're doing.
Yeah, so, like if you take a friend to Vegas, you want a guy that's just like once you're a little drunk and a little fucked up and you're fucking start to throw all kinds of shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? You throw the wife and the kids on the table. It's like, hey, buddy, come on. Yeah. So that's the kind of friendly advice we give here.
Right. I mean, and then like like my advice too really is to honestly look at these projects and try to learn the technology behind them. Right? Yeah. I'm not telling you to invest in X or Y or Z. Just look and learn about the space you're investing in. Like it's not just like, oh, I'm going to go buy Apple stock because they're going to drop a new iPhone next year, right? Like it's what is the driving factor behind a lot of these things, and why do some of these coins have crazy market cap and why do some just have tiny market caps, right? Like don't just go off of price. Like, what's the price of the asset? Just go off of the worth of the network.
I feel like both the things you brought up for crypto are just good on life advice in general. You should dollar cost average everything in your life.
True.
Right?
As much as you can.
Right. Mm-hmm. And also you should look into everything you do before you back.
Right. All right.
So that's fucking just life advice. See, we're fucking life coaches. You sons of bitches. We're over here life coaching for free. But enjoy it. We love it.
But yeah, like, and then so just moving on from that, like just to close that out, just be safe out there. Research what you're actually investing in. Personally, I'm staying away from any dog coin, cat coin, whatever, animal coin, or food coin, or any of these. I'm staying away from that. I'm just looking at the projects that have real technology behind them, that are trying to make and create change in the world, in the different sectors that they're trying to create the positive change in.
Okay, if you guys enjoyed that, you guys should probably press subscribe and get a little more. We'll probably get annoying over time, but you can unsubscribe.
But if you consider yourself a moon goon like us, then make sure you hit that bell icon so you get notified every time we drop one of these. And you know what? Let's just get back into it. Moving on from that, Cardano announced this week that the Alonzo Testnet, which is their first testnet for smart contracts, has started this week. and it's starting I think it's a 90-day rollout until smart contracts are live and in the void here.
90 days from now?
From this weekish.
Okay.
Right?
From whenever it was officially announced.
Right.
Okay.
From their last Cardano 360 event, which was last week.
Okay.
Right, I think on Thursday. Last week Thursday. So I can't remember the exact date, but if you guys know the May Cardano 360 event, from then on, it's about 90-day rollout for smart contracts. And then once smart contracts are live on Cardano, we're going to start seeing some real activity for them. Shit. And this could be, with the market going down, this could be Cardano's opportunity to start the decoupling of the cryptocurrency market from Bitcoin. And this is a big thing because the problem is, like, Bitcoin goes up, all coins go up. Bitcoin goes down, all coins go down. Like, no, that's not how it works. Like, that's not how traditional markets work. I know this isn't a traditional market, but that's not how, like, individual companies work in the stock market, right? It's not Apple goes up, everybody goes up. Apple goes down, everybody. That's not how it works. Like there are factors that make the entire market go up or down, of course, right? And a lot of times that has to stem from government intervention, printing more money, crazy inflation. We can even talk about inflation if you want. I mean, inflation is going crazy right now. I know you guys are all noticing the cost of everything is going up.
I told you guys on previous episodes that shit was coming. Right. Everybody was getting very comfortable. Everybody just thought, COVID's done. We're fucking big chilling now.
No. Let's
now
go. Now we got a whole new set of problems.
We
got a whole new set of problems. We got supply chain issues. We got work shortages. Right there's jobs, but people don't want to work. So we have those. We have those issues going on. So there's a lot of shit. Obviously, the Fed is printing so much money and devaluing your savings, devaluing your earnings, devaluing everything that they can, and then wants to raise taxes on you too. But anyway, we're not going to get into all the politics of it all. But there's a lot of driving factors that move the market. But one important thing for crypto is everything is coupled together and tied to whatever Bitcoin does. And there's going to come a point in time when the cryptocurrency market, like, finally fractures, but obviously in a good way, where coins grow on their own, right? Bitcoin won't be the driving factor behind Cardano's price going up, right? What the technology and the updates and the stuff that Cardano puts out should be what drives their price up, not some other coin.
Of course.
Right?
Well, no, that's how the future should be, right? Like, everything is just its own separate thing.
Right. I mean, like, the whole idea of cryptocurrency is decentralization. Right. But if we're centralized on price action compared to
Connected
what Bitcoin, right, then it doesn't doesn't really.
Then it's just fucking. It's just remaneuvered itself. Right.
Exactly.
But it's the fucking same thing.
Right. So, so one thing I'd really like to see in the coming future, I don't know if it'll happen this year or not. I'm hoping, like, Cardano has shown signs of it, right? There was a time where Cardano went on its crazy run earlier in this bull run when everybody stayed stagnant, when Bitcoin was stagnant, Ethereum was stagnant, everybody was in the red. I remember there was days where it was like every single coin was in the red except for Cardano.
Right.
And it was like, oh, yes. Yeah. For me, I was like, yes, you know? But
for anybody deep into that Cardano pool,
I mean, I know. Sure. And there's some motherfuckers way deeper than me for sure.
Yeah.
So, like, that's like so when smart contracts come out, it's going to change the game for Cardano, and I'm hoping the entire crypto sphere, right? Like, you have, they've already said that they have 900 companies around the world that want to work with Cardano. They want to work on the Cardano blockchain. They want to bring their companies, their goods, their services, their supply chains, all this stuff to Cardano and operate on Cardano. Obviously, last month Cardano announced, the partnership with Ethiopia with the 5 million students. They have a similar partnership with Georgia, the country of Georgia, not the state. The nation state, but not the state.
Shit. Shout out to the ATL though by accident.
Right.
Man.
So I mean, they already have, they already have a program that's been going on for the last 2 years now or so with New Balance, right, for helping track counterfeit shoes, to verify that shoes are authentic. So I don't know how the program. I don't know if the program is internal only for now or it's external.
Okay.
But I'm thinking it's in an internal system where it's kind of like the retailers can verify that they have legit New Balance kicks and gear from.
So
from
this
New
is
Balance.
like the shit that's really flexing blockchain technology for the future. Like this is the way it was always like.
Yeah, I mean this is the plan. That's the idea of it, right?
Plan,
I mean, because blockchain is just a ledger, right. And so, like, just like any other ledger, you just track transactions, right? Track movement back and forth,
right?
And that's all this does. But the difference between this and let's say like traditional ledgers is you can't change it, right? It's registered on the blockchain forever.
It's written in stone, baby.
Right. So
digital stone.
So it really eliminates a lot of corruption and weird shady.
And so the idea of that,
shit.
when I finally kind of learned and understood the blockchain, was like, I love that it's implemented into the cryptocurrency world, because obviously like that's the only way to kind of legitimize it and allow you to kind of have some confidence in investing. But also, like, I wanted to see that shit used in like practical terms. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In all kinds of spaces, all kinds of businesses, all kinds of companies, all kinds of everything, even government to an extent.
I mean, you look at something like VeChain. They do like supply chain tracking for Walmart in China. They do it for like all these like really big companies. You know what I'm saying? So it's like there's a lot of projects out there that aren't just about having a dog picture on it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I like dogs. Like, who doesn't like dogs? You know what I mean?
But there's like revolutionary things out there that are like trying to change the world. Like,
right. I mean, there's like some legit projects out there that are doing legit work that are trying to actually make a difference. So like for Cardano, they're rolling out smart contracts. Smart contracts are going to allow them to do a lot more. You're going to start seeing actual decentralized apps built on Cardano. You're going to start seeing all different kinds of stuff, and it's crazy. Like,
are you telling me this is the beginning of the revolution, the real revolution?
I mean, yeah, because look, like, if you look at the impact that Ethereum had on the market, right? Like that, why it's the reason why they're number 2 is their only thing that they have is smart contracts. They're Bitcoin with smart contracts. That's it.
Yeah.
Like that's all they are, right? They don't have the ability to stake. They don't have like decentralized voting. They don't have like a lot of different aspects. They're not multi-chain. Like you need layer 2 projects like Matic or Polygon and Chainlink to kind of do these extras that it can't do. But a lot of that shit is being built into Cardano. You see? So
well, it's doing everything based on learning from the mistakes of the other ones.
And
that's as it should be.
Another thing too is Ethereum only uses one coding language. It's called Solidity, and it's basically developed. I believe it was essentially developed for Ethereum.
Okay.
So it's in like kind of an Ethereum only, but there's only maybe a couple thousand Solidity developers around the world, right? Initially, Cardano is going to be programmed in Haskell, which is a different type of programming language. But from what I hear from a lot of from developers that I've talked about it, that I've seen in interviews, that I've read on Reddit or on Twitter or whatever, like they say there's a lot more tools there and there's a lot more functionality and there's a lot more that they can do with that.
Right.
But that's not even the end of it. Cardano is also working on a way to allow you to code in whatever you do.
Right.
And port it in through them and function that into whatever decentralized app or whatever setup you want to build on
them like third-party distribution, kind of like then, Amazon
and just a couple other little interesting things too is like when you build like let's say you build a token on Ethereum or whatever, and you got to go through your rollout process, you got to do all this and that, right? And then you got to figure out a way to fund the network, right? And then like if you want to make changes or do some crazy development, right? You got to figure out how that gets funded.
Right.
Well, what's awesome about Cardano too is since all tokens that are built on Cardano will be native tokens, which means they'll be treated exactly like ADA is. Right. So what that means is they'll be able to have their own treasury. Okay. They'll be able to have their own Project Catalyst type of launchpad built into their platform. Like all of these options and tools are available that you would normally get on the main blockchain, the main product on the network. But now you'll be able to get them on all these other ones, and they'll be treated exactly like
like it exists in this space, but you can take it out of here, and it's still valuable.
And then another thing too is like, so Ethereum is proof of work, which means you need miners to mine the transactions to process the transactions, right? Well, with Cardano's proof of stake, their proof of stake model is different from other proof of stake models, but one thing that's actually interesting that I haven't seen anybody do or even think of or talk about. Like I never thought, it never clicked in my head until it was announced on Cardano that this was something that could work. But they call it Babel fees. And what that means is the stake pool operators can choose to not only accept ADA, but accept other native tokens to pay for the transactions on the blockchain.
Okay.
So like, if you have another token, whatever, that kind of gets big, like you can accept that as payment, as processing.
Right. It's kind of, I was going to relate it to like, if people want to think about it, it's like when Square came out and now people could swipe their card on your phone. You know what I mean? That's how you could send money, right? You could just do business. You didn't have to even be an actual business. You just be like, hey, just swipe on my shit. It's connected to my phone. Whoop. And you can accept anything, right?
Yeah.
You could choose to accept anything on that swipe.
True. You can.
It's just a swiper.
You can.
Yeah.
You definitely can.
So, yeah, it's like that. That's perfect.
And then, so like for Ethereum, you need a smart contract to create an NFT. Mm-hmm. Right? On Cardano, you can mint NFTs right now, and they're treated as native tokens, just like anything else.
Awesome.
Right? So
you can just get your NFT collection.
Right. So, and then Cardano you can mint. There's tons of spots that offer, like, if you're not good at coding, or you don't know, like if you're like me and you don't have no idea how to code anything.
No shit. Looks at numbers and
there
sees them
there
in
are
Spanish.
Some, like, the community is so great. There are some like tools that they've created and websites that they've created where you go to it and it's like, man, you just upload your image, title it whatever you want, pay a little bit of ADA, it gets sent to your wallet, and now you have your own NFT. It's a very simplified process, and it's kind of crazy.
It's almost too simple.
Right.
You're saying.
And then they're making it obviously even more simple. So it's like, okay, it's crazy. And there's a lot there. There's a lot available there. And
simple pimple.
And so it's going to be interesting to see like how this space grows. But speaking of NFTs, basically, when we reach 100 subscribers, and at the time of recording this video, we're at 86, so we're almost there. So if you're watching, just shoot a subscribe. Just help us get there.
We weren't really exactly sure.
Obviously, the main push to get us to 100 is our goal right now.
But I've kind of figured
we want to give away these NFTs. We're never going to give away this series of NFTs again. So if you get them now, if you get these 10. You get some interesting. You might get some interesting clips. And all you could get the logo.
Subscribe to our YouTube
like
channel
just a
here.
Static image of the logo, right?
Comment in the bottom.
Or you could get
Moon Goons.
Hashtag animated version of the logo. Right. Or you could actually get the animated intro you saw at the beginning of this video. So basically, there's a couple different things we got coming up.
Everything.
I really, really, really hope that you guys will subscribe and make sure you put hashtag Moon Goons, right? So, you can get your opportunity to win these NFTs.
And maybe in the future, if you guys own one of those one-off NFTs, like I'll come over to your house and sign your baby.
I don't know about. I won't do that.
I'll do it.
I might buy it off you.
I'll fucking sign your baby. I don't care.
I might buy it off you
or
for
somebody's
some
baby in that house.
I might give you some ADA for it if you win it. If you want to sell it, reach out to me first.
He's trying to win his back.
Right. Like, I mean, obviously I could go mint my own. I already have a couple that I minted for myself
but
as a test.
With value.
But I mean, if you do decide you want to sell it, I mean, reach out to me first on Twitter at Natestradamus. You feel me? Reach out there
Hook
first.
him up with some ADA.
Reach out there first. I'll shoot you some ADA for it.
Hook him up with some ADA, and I'll come and sign your baby. Let's do it.
But yeah, we'll catch you on the next one, man. Peace.
Peace.